There is a moment in the darkness of the night when all things cease to move and time seems to melt into nothingness. That is when your soul finds its way back to its original stillness. You do not need to try. You do not need to hurry. Let your breath find its own natural rhythm, like small waves gently cradling a fine sandy shore in your mind. The story of the night train to the stars is not just a journey through space, but an invitation for you to let go of every burden, to let your body sink deep into softness, safety, and absolute freedom. Right now, let the outside world recede, leaving only the gentle presence of the moonlight and the soothing embrace of the night. Before we begin our journey to the stars, I want you to take a moment to feel your own presence right here in this safe space. Adjust your sleeping position so that it is most comfortable, perhaps lying on your back with your arms resting gently by your sides, or turning to one side like a child finding comfort. Feel the weight of your body being supported by the surface beneath you. There is no pressure, no straining. You are protected, wrapped in the stillness of the black night. Now, focus on your feet. Imagine a warm stream of energy, the pale yellow color of moonlight, slowly spreading from your heels to your toes. This warmth relaxes every muscle fiber, soothing the fatigue. After a long day of movement, your feet are now weightless, as if they are resting on a layer of soft grass, damp with night dew on the highlands. Let this relaxation spread up your calves, through your knees, and into your thighs. Every muscle, every bone is being completely loosened. You feel your legs melting into the mattress without weight, without tension. Next, bring your attention to your hips and back. Take a deep breath. Feel your chest expand, and as you exhale, imagine you are shedding all the worries accumulated in your spine. Your back flattens out, soft and relaxed. The warmth from that illusory moonlight continues to flow up to your shoulders, weaving into each cervical vertebra. Your shoulders drop down, away from your ears, casting off all of today's responsibilities. It feels so light, so peaceful. You are entering a perfect state of grounding where mind and body harmonize with the slow rhythm of the universe. Do not forget your hands. Relax your fingers, letting them curl naturally. Feel the warmth from your palms spread through your arms, soothing the hurried movements of the daytime. And finally, let the relaxation spread to your face. Relax your forehead, letting the lines of thought vanish. Relax your eyebrows, relax your eyes, and let your jaw part slightly. Your entire face is now as serene as a still lake under the full moon of March. We are on a vast limestone plateau. Imagine you are standing there with Victor, Isabella, Olivia, and Theo. But you do not have to walk tiredly. You are enveloped in a cool, gentle breeze. The moonlight above is not cold. It is like a soft, silver blanket draped over your shoulders. The space around is so quiet that you can hear the wind whispering through the rock crevices, a steady, rhythmic sound like a wordless melody reserved for sleep. The air here is very fresh. Every breath you inhale carries the scent of wild grass, of old stone, and of freedom. When you exhale, you feel yourself radiating peace, the world of the people in the story. Victor with his sturdiness, Isabella with her dreaminess. All are here to accompany you. They do not bring agitation. They bring the presence of trusted companions. The phosphorescence from Victor's watch casts a soothing green light, a reminder of the precision of time, but also a magical transition. Time here is no longer measured in minutes or seconds of busyness. It is measured by the heartbeat that is gradually slowing down, by the slow blinks of Isabella. Her hazel hair flutters lightly in the wind, creating a smooth movement that lulls you into a gentle trance. Beneath your feet, the trail, overgrown with weeds, is not rugged. It is as soft as a natural velvet carpet. Every footstep of the explorers in your mind is a step leading you deeper into the realm of relaxation. Feel the warmth from Isabella's cream white turtleneck sweater. It radiates a clean, warm, and intimate feeling. Every detail around is designed for you to feel absolute safety. There is nothing to fear in this darkness, because this is a night of healing, a night of the most beautiful dreams waiting for you. Do you hear the train whistle from afar? It is not harsh. It lingers like the sound of crystal wind chimes. That sound blends into the space, making the night deeper and more forgiving. The black Quartz station ahead is waiting for us, but before reaching it, just let your body float in this state of relaxation for a little longer. You are doing very well. You are allowing yourself to rest, a well-deserved and complete rest. Every time you hear a character's name, feel as if part of your tension is released. Victor represents protection. Olivia represents calm understanding. Theo represents pure innocence. And Isabella represents your own sensitive soul. All of them are with you, preparing to board the train of infinity. Let your breath harmonize with the rhythm of heavy yet leisurely footsteps on the weeds. Feel the cold of the night wind touching your skin, then immediately being warmed by the peace from within. Before we go deeper into this magical story, If you feel the relaxation spreading, please take a second to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for the channel. Your support is the energy for us to explore more lands of dreams together. Now, take another deep breath and prepare to see the Quartz station appear behind the canyon, passing the curve of the limestone canyon. The space suddenly opens into a magnificent stillness. Under the full moon of March, the station appears unlike any structure ever built by humanity. It was not created from rough bricks or cold concrete, but seems to be carved from blocks of shiny black quartz, deep like the ocean at night. Those quartz surfaces reflect the moonlight gently, creating phosphorescent streaks running along the slender yet solid pillars. Every movement here slows down, blending into a surreal rhythm. The tracks do not touch the ground at all. They hover a few inches above the floor, radiating a soft, light blue glow, the kind of light you often see in deep coral reefs under the sea. That light does not dazzle the eyes, it is just enough to guide the soul, creating a sense of absolute reassurance. You can feel the coolness emanating from these space tracks, a pure coolness that washes away all the dust and noise of the outside world. As Victor, Isabella, Olivia, and Theo enter the platform, the sound of their footsteps on the quartz floor does not create a dry noise, but deep, smooth sounds like tapping on precious wood. The silence of this place envelops them like a giant cocoon. Olivia stands there, her eyes glowing with wisdom, as she slowly observes the periodic space-time fracture. According to her story, this is where the boundary between reality and dreams becomes thinnest. Imagine yourself standing next to her, feeling the gentle vibration of space, a healing vibration that soothes every strained nerve. And then, from the horizon, where the Milky Way stretches across the mountaintop, the train slowly pulls in. It does not appear with the noise of machinery or the smell of thick coal smoke. It glides on the zero-gravity tracks with a majesty and silence. The entire train is an exquisite work of architectural art. The carriages are made from thousands of years old oak, but the surface has flows of silver liquid metal running along the wood grain. The combination of nature's warmth and the advancement of the universe creates a feeling that is both familiar and magical. The carriages have perfectly transparent glass domes, gliding through the air with a slight hiss, like the sound of wind blowing through a window crack on a rainy summer afternoon. That sound is so small that if you do not concentrate, you would think it was just your own breath. The train stops without any sudden braking or shaking. The carriage door opens with a gentle hiss, like the relaxed sigh of someone who has just put down a heavy burden after a long journey. When stepping inside, the contrast between the coldness of the plateau and the warmth of the carriage will make you feel extremely comfortable. The interior of the carriage is lined entirely with deep blue velvet, a blue as deep as the night sky at 2 a.m. When you sit down, that velvet embraces your body so soft that you feel like you are sinking into a fluffy cloud. The brass wall lamps radiate a warm golden light, reminiscent of classic reading rooms where there is only you and your most peaceful thoughts. Isabella touches the glass dome. The cold from the glass transmits through her fingertips, but it is not at all unpleasant. It is a perfect balance with the warmth from the cream-white turtleneck sweater she is wearing. Victor chooses an observation corner. His sturdiness brings a sense of protection to the whole group. Olivia begins to adjust her devices, but her movements are very leisurely, not at all hurried. As for Theo, he pulls out his notebook with a pure passion, his eyes reflecting the light from the stars outside. The train begins to move. This time, the clack thump sound rings out. It is a very steady rhythm, like the heartbeat of someone in a deep sleep, or like the ticking of a pendulum clock in a quiet wooden house. This sound is designed to soothe the mind. It is a natural white noise that helps blur cluttered thoughts, leading you deeper into the space of relaxation. Imagine yourself sitting next to Theo, looking out the large window. The train is not just moving on the ground, it is beginning to glide between the boundaries of spatial layers. The warm golden light inside the carriage blends with the light blue light from the tracks outside, creating a magical atmosphere where every worry about the future or regret about the past no longer has a place. Here, there is only the present, only the warmth of the velvet seats and the steady rhythm of the train taking you further away from everyday pressures. This setting is the perfect introduction. It is not just a trip by vehicle, but a transition of state from wakefulness to dreaminess. Every detail, from the color of the velvet, the material of the oak, to the phosphorescent light, is arranged to convince all your senses that you are safe, you are free, and you are preparing to witness the most miraculous things of the universe without having to leave your own comfort. Let yourself float with that steady rhythm of the train wheels. Clack, thump, clack, thump. Each rhythm is a step closer to the center of peace. You are here on the night train to the stars, where space and time are only faint concepts. As the train begins to accelerate smoothly, the sensation of weight seems to gradually vanish, replaced by a lightness spreading throughout the body, the sound of the wheels rolling on the space tracks, clack thump, becomes a steady background music, a primal rhythm that soothes every corner of memory. In the deep blue, velvet-lined carriage, the warm golden light flickers slightly, creating dancing shadows on the ancient oak walls. Victor, the guide with the square jaw and sharp eyes, has now also loosened his shoulders. He no longer stares at the dense bushes outside as he did on the limestone plateau. Instead, he leans back in his seat, feeling the sturdiness of the train, a sturdiness that comes not from cold steel, but from an ancient energy envelope. He knows that in this place, there are no enemies to deal with, no dangers to guard against. The safety here is absolute, as if they are lying in a time cocoon, completely separated from the hustle and bustle of the real world. Everyone, look! Isabella's voice rings out, but it is not an excited shout. It is a whisper full of wonder, light as a breath. She points out the large window on the left. A magical phenomenon is taking place. Although the sky over the plateau was originally shrouded in darkness, through the lens of the carriage, a completely different scene appears. It is a vast, immense ocean under the brilliant morning sun. The white-capped waves beat rhythmically against the moss-covered cliffs. The blue of the sea is so clear that one can see the sparkling coral reefs below. Flocks of seagulls soar, their wings reflecting the sun like small pieces of silver falling from the air. Olivia, in her ash-gray research jumpsuit, lightly adjusts the glasses on the bridge of her nose. Her voice rings out, low and convincing, like an explanation from an ancient book that is not the physical reality we know, that is the sea of memory. Each window of this train is a multidimensional prism, a gateway leading to different spatial and temporal layers of the earth. We are seeing the ocean of millions of years ago, or perhaps a sea in the human mind where all life begins. The student with messy hair and an always open notebook moves to the opposite window. His mouth hangs open, his pencil stopping midway on the page. On this side, there is no sea, no morning sun. Instead, there is a deep, hollow darkness, yet illuminated by the most brilliant Milky Way the human eye can behold. Purple, pink, and green nebulae swirl into each other like the giant silk ribbons of some god weaving a cosmic carpet. The stars here are no longer tiny distant points of light. They are large, magnificent, and radiate a shimmering light like singing crystals. Unbelievable. Theo mumbles, a dreamy smile on his lips. Those constellations, their positions are so strange This is perhaps the sky of 10,000 years ago, or 10,000 years from now. This train is taking us through the flow of time without hurry. Olivia looks at Theo, a rare smile appearing on her wisdom-filled face. She begins to tell the origin of the train, her voice blending perfectly with the clack thump of the wheels, creating a potion that lures the mind into a deeper state of relaxation. The ancients believed that the stars were the lighthouses of the gods, Olivia says. They said that when a person travels far enough north, past the highest peaks and deepest valleys, they will find a path leading straight to heaven. This night train is the Silk Road of Dreams. It does not only carry flesh and blood passengers like us, but it also carries unrealized ideas, unwritten poems, and souls in need of finding direction after the traumas of life. Isabella rests her head against the cold glass. The cool sensation from the glass blends with the warmth of the turtleneck sweater, creating a pleasant balance. She closes her eyes, imagining herself as a part of the Milky Way out there. She feels the worries about work, the clutter of urban life with its lights and flowers gradually vanishing, blurring like wisps of smoke behind the train's tail. Here, on this train, she does not need to be anyone. She only needs to be a presence, a tiny grain of sand, beloved and protected by the universe. Victor sits opposite, witnessing the change in his companions. He is a practical man, believing in what hands can touch and eyes can see. But in this space, amidst the soothing sound of the train engine and Olivia's stories, he feels the protective armor around his heart melting. He no longer feels the need to grip the dagger hilt at his hip. He lets go, letting his hands rest on his thighs. A peace he had long lost in life and death battles is now returning, weaving into every cell. The train continues to glide through magical spatial regions. Sometimes they pass a giant field of sunflowers, where each flower is as big as a house and radiates golden light like small suns. At other times, they glide past a city built entirely of white clouds, where the inhabitants are fragile souls, strolling among misty towers. Each scene appears and then slowly recedes, not causing overwhelm, but only bringing a gentle sense of admiration. "Do you hear it?" Isabella asks softly. It is the sound of the wind, but not the howling wind of storms. It is a melodious, lingering sound, like the crystal flutes they heard at the station. This wind weaves through the door cracks, harmonizing with the rhythm of the train wheels, creating a wordless symphony. It has the ability to soothe the soul like a lullaby from a kind mother. This music has no high notes, no suddenness. It is just a smooth flow of sound leading the listener into a gentle state of hypnosis. Olivia continues her story, her voice now sounding as if echoing from somewhere far away. This train has no fixed final stop. It stops where the human heart needs rest the most. Some will find themselves returning to their childhood home. Others will find themselves standing on a strange planet full of fragrant flowers. But all share a common end, absolute peace. Theo is still diligently drawing, but his strokes have become softer and more liberal. He is no longer trying to accurately record every scientific detail. He is drawing with emotion. He draws the vibration of moonlight on blue velvet, the serenity on Isabella's face, and the infinite space out there. He realizes that the greatest beauty does not lie in numbers or facts, but in the feeling of belonging to this vast universe. Time on the train seems no longer to follow ordinary laws. An hour can be as long as a millennium, or a millennium can pass in just the blink of an eye. But that does not matter. What matters is the feeling of being present in this peace. The brass wall lamps, radiating warm golden light, seem to dim a bit, giving way to the magical light from the nebulae outside, flooding into the carriage. The deep purple of deep space mixes with the blue of the velvet seats, creating a neutral space where the boundary between inside and outside, between the observer and the observed, seems to completely dissolve. Victor takes a deep breath, feeling the scent of old oak and the pure scent of space. He feels his chest become light. Sad memories, the scars of the past, seem to be soothed by an invisible hand. He understands that this journey is not just about finding a mysterious station, but a journey back to oneself, where stillness always exists, but is often obscured by the noise of the world. They all sit there in a resonant silence. No one says another word, because language becomes redundant at this moment. The clack, thump of the train still rings out steadily, like a promise of protection and guidance. The train begins to tilt slightly, preparing for a new altitude change. A giant, multicolored cloud appears ahead, radiating a light shimmering like crushed diamonds. Isabella smiles, her eyes sparkling with the reflection of the stars. She knows that the most miraculous thing is still ahead, and she is ready to receive it with a completely relaxed mindset. The night train to the stars is taking them closer to the core of the dream, where all tension will completely vanish and give way to the deepest and most peaceful sleep. The moonlight out there still hangs suspended, but now it is no longer a distant celestial body. It is like a companion, illuminating the invisible tracks, guiding tired souls back to the haven of relaxation. Just let yourself float with the rhythm of the story. Let the sound of the wheels lead you deeper into the fairy tale of the universe, where only peace and the sweetest dreams are waiting. The train begins a spectacular transformation. The sound of the wheels rolling steadily on the tracks suddenly becomes more ethereal, as if the liquid metal rails are melting into the air in front of the glass dome of the carriage. A giant cloud appears, but this is not the grey water vapor cloud of the mortal world. It is a vibrant, multicolored energy vortex, the brilliant red of newly formed stars, the green of ancient forests in memory, the deep purple of eternal twilight, and lemon yellow swirling together like fairy tale silk ribbons. "Get ready," Olivia whispers, her voice melting into the space, as smooth as a piano key lightly touched, as the train dives straight into the heart of the multicolored cloud. A magical phenomenon occurs. All physical noise completely disappears. The silence at this moment is not at all scary. It is an absolute, pure silence, leaving only your own gentle and steady breath harmonizing with the characters. And then Isabella feels her chest become light, a strange but extremely pleasant sensation spreads from her toes to the top of her head. Gravity has vanished. Isabella's feet leave the deep blue velvet floor. She does not panic. On the contrary, she spreads her arms wide, letting her body float in the carriage like a flower petal falling in still water. Her hazel hair spreads out, bobbing with each invisible energy wave. Theo's notebook also begins to float, the pages turning slowly like butterfly wings flapping in a dream. The young student smiles kindly, his hands reaching into the air to catch the phosphorescent light particles dancing around him. Victor, who always maintains sturdiness, now also relaxes completely. He lets go of the seat armrests, letting his body freely float near the ceiling of the carriage. In this zero-gravity state, every burden of the world, every worry about responsibility, and the heavy memories of the past seem to have been completely sucked away by the multicolored cloud. Your body too. Imagine yourself there in the middle of the soft velvet carriage, feeling as light as a wisp of smoke, without a single bit of pressure weighing on your muscles or mind. Look outside, Olivia says, she too floating with a strange serenity outside the window. The multicolored cloud gradually dissipates, revealing a scene so majestic it takes the breath away. The earth appears like a giant blue jewel, lonely and magnificent amidst the deep void. Light from the stars reflects through the glass shell, creating streaks shimmering like crushed diamonds, running along the oak walls. In this moment of interference, the boundary between humans and the universe is completely blurred. You no longer see yourself as a separate individual with private sorrows. You are part of the Milky Way, a stardust particle, on a journey back to primitive stillness. This dissolution is a sweet liberation. Every thought gradually becomes blurry, giving way to a pure feeling of freedom. The carriage at this moment is no longer a means of transport, but an intermediate space between reality and dreams, where you can touch infinity while still feeling warm and absolutely safe in the embrace of the night. As the train gradually glides out of the brilliant multicolored cloud and begins to descend gracefully, gravity slowly returns to the carriage, like a gentle hug from the earth. There is no shock, only the feeling of your body gradually sinking deep, so deep into the deep blue velvet of the armchair. Every inch of flesh, every muscle fiber on you now seems to melt, completely blending into the softness of the carriage. The sound of the wheels rolling on the tracks returns, clack, thump, clack, thump. But that sound no longer resonates. It becomes deep, distant, and steady, like a soothing whisper from an ancient memory. This is the perfect white noise, a hypnotic rhythm leading your mind to leave the last images of the Milky Way, to step through the door of a dreamless sleep. The fatigue after the long journey begins to hit, but it is the sweetest and most pleasant fatigue you have ever experienced. Isabella has leaned her head completely against the window frame, her large brown eyes gently closed, her long lashes resting serenely. The warm golden light from the wall lamps dims, giving way to the gentle darkness covering the space. The sound of the wind whistling through the door cracks is now no different from a crystal flute playing a rhythmic lullaby, blending with the warmth from the turtleneck sweater, creating an absolute protective cocoon. Theo has fallen asleep long ago, his head resting lightly on the old leather bag, and the notebook is open at a page, drawing a strange constellation, but those strokes are no longer important. Olivia has also put away her dry measuring devices. She leans back in her seat, her face relaxed in a pure peace that science cannot explain. Victor is the last one awake, but even that resilient guide cannot resist the power of this stillness. He looks through the window seeing the dawn beginning to break in a pale blue strip on the distant horizon, signaling that they are about to return to the real world. But he knows, and you know, that our souls have been cleansed. The worries have vanished into thin air, leaving only the peace present in every slow breath. The night train to the stars has completed its mission. It not only took you through space, but also brought you back to the very center of calmness in your soul. The train gradually slows down. Each clack thump becomes sparser, lighter, until there is only a vast and forgiving silence. The destination station appears in the early morning mist, blurry and peaceful. Right now, allow yourself to drift away completely. Do not hold on to any thoughts. You are safe. You are loved by this universe. Let your breath become one with the rhythm of the night. Thank you for accompanying me and the characters on this miraculous journey. If the story brought you peace, do not forget to come back and interact. Leave a small message or share your feelings with the channel tomorrow morning when you wake up. Now, enjoy the deepest and best sleep. Good night in the arms of the stars.